Okay, so what you're going to create in today's lesson, and this should just take one period, is this 8-inch square using the letters of your name to pay attention to the negative and positive space. So the negative space is either the black area or the white area, depending on how you want to work with it. This is fully created in Adobe Illustrator, simply using mainly the type tool, and then I'm going to use the shape tool to put in a block of color. This should take, like I said, just one period. So to get started, we can go create a file that is new, and we're creating a document that is a complete square. So we're creating an 8-inch square, both height and in width. And you're going to title this as you usually do. So last name underscore initial and mouse pad. As this is actually a design that you could use and create for a mouse pad. So we're going to hit OK. You do not need to have a bleed on any of these, so you should just have a simple artboard box. The tool you're going to be using is the type tool, the letter T. Okay, and the best way to use this tool in Illustrator is to click once, and you'll see that you have the flashing cursor then come up, and then you can type out the letters in your name. Once you've actually selected those, you can use the regular selection tool to obviously increase and decrease. Don't forget, please hold down Shift to make sure that they're constraining the proportions. To change the font, and I want to see a different font than just used right here, you can come up to where it says character or the actual font name, and you can go find something other than what appears right here. Myriad is the standard font. I want you to use something completely different. I'd like you to go find a couple different fonts you could actually use. You want something that actually has a lot of character to it, a lot of detail, something that is still readable when you actually are able to finish creating this. It really doesn't matter what you start with. Century Schoolbook right here is classic kind of serif font. A serif is these extra little pieces that are added to the lettering. Now currently as it is right now, I can double click and I can highlight and I can use this lettering right here. Okay, if I was to come up to type, this is a piece of type right here, I can actually then turn this type into outlines. So Shift Command 0, or O, sorry, will actually then turn this into objects. You'll see they've actually now become anchor points. So then I can ungroup, and then these are just objects. Okay, so I can actually do whatever I wish with these. And that's the easier way to actually deal with your text. What I want you to do when you actually work with this is you can actually work a little bit bigger. Okay, and I put in a box of black, which basically means that I'm then going to be creating my content over the top, and I'm going to be either creating it in black or white, so I'm not going to create any other colors. And there you can see that I can start to position my letters in here. What I want you to do is actually start to pay attention to the way in which the letters kind of can blend into one another. So for example, I could take this one, you can see that the base of that T starts moving into the A, the base of the A moves into the base of the M. Okay? And I want you to then start paying attention to this when you start to use these letters over and over and over again. Now you can find a different font. I'm just going to stick with the same font. I could take this and I can move it. Remember, I can hold down Option, and you can see my cursor is changing. And it'll create an exact copy for me. I can then place my cursor up in the corner to rotate. And I'm basically just trying to create an abstract design from simply just these letters. So I want to start placing them around. I could start taking one of the letters and I can duplicate it. Again, drag, hold down Option, and it'll create a new letter right next to it. Now if you want this same distance or the same repeat again, hold down Command and the letter D, and you'll see it duplicates it. So I only have to do that once into the right position. And then the next time that I go and press Command and the letter D, it will keep duplicating it. I want to see these repeat patterns appearing. You can now start to see you get different negative and positive spaces appearing. I can take these letters and work with them again. And I could make a copy or drag and press Option and rotate. As you can see, I can start to make more complex patterns from just these letters. This is something I want you to try and do on varying scales. Make sure that all the content that goes to the edge, in other words, this line right here, this black line is the edge of your 8x8. If it goes to the edge, it keeps going and goes off the edge. So you can see it goes a little bit further. So take each letter, and I want to see what kind of content you can do. You can twist the lettering, so you can hold it down Shift and twist it to a 45. The only thing I've done so far is work with white content. So I could move and drop an exact copy, and then I can actually start playing around with black content over the top. So you can see I've actually got that letter, and I've now put the same letter over the top. So it gives me a very different kind of appearance. I could do that again. This time I would turn it back to white, and then I'm getting these stripes starting to appear. And this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see these different kind of patterns that start to appear from your lettering. You're being creative with the content as far as the letters you've been given. So just use the 3 letters. You can use 3 initials or just the 2. I can drag. Again, I can duplicate. I can change every other one to black and move those in front. But as you can see, the lettering is starting to actually become a lot more distinguished as far as content that doesn't look like letters, but more just looks like empty negative space and positive space. Again, I could change the color, so choose only black or white in your content. It's about arranging content on your page. So remember that you can come up to Object and Arrange. You bring to front, or bring backwards or forwards. Just the Command key and the left and right brackets. So I can continue putting in content over the top and creating these different pattern shapes appearing. See how complex you can be. I don't want one area to be overlyingly sort of intensely contrasting. So there's too much black still on this illustration, so I want to make sure that I continue to add more content in white to fill in the negative black space. So I can rotate and try joining these letters together. And just keep moving them around until you get a different pattern you can actually use. So I can take this one, these 4 different letters right here, and continue just to repeat these into the empty negative space that I've put. And this actually builds a pattern over the top. So this is something that you can continue working with and using letters of varying scale and size to create the finished product. I can take these 3 letters again, rotate them, and start to place those also into the negative space. You'll notice that you start to find a lot more decorative patterns going on the more you actually place. Final step I want you to do, because of the fact that we've actually placed a lot of content out and past the end of the document, is if I start a new layer and I go hide this one real quick, I can go create a box right over the top, and we're going to title this Clipping Mask. And this is your lettering. I'm going to go create an 8-inch box that goes directly over my artboard. I'm going to bring my other artwork back, and I'm going to press Command A to select all, You can see I've managed to select everything. If this clipping mask is over the top, I can come up to Object and create a clipping mask, or Command 7. And what that should do is trim everything so that nothing else appears outside and everything's contained within that box. So a couple things you can work towards: 8 by 8 inch square, using black and white, using only the type tool, and finally creating a clipping mask to contain all your content in the end. Good luck.